Live.
Welcome back to Wook Plus Live. I'm the Great Went. I'm here with T. Hopefully Tim will be joining us in a minute. There are technical difficulties in Pennsylvania, in the wilds of Pennsylvania there. How are we doing this week, T?
You mean we didn't get a fight backstage in the green room and we Jane's addictioned him? There is no more Tim taking a break.
So yes, I guess that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, I was thinking of other memorable fights. And like famously the Kinks in 65, I guess Dave knocked over a cymbal, so Ray hit him with it, and Dave actually ended up in the hospital and didn't tour for a while because of that. So I'd say that on the scale, this Jane's Addiction fight was kind of weak. What did you think?
I give them, well, I give them credit for doing it at least on stage in front of everybody and not like backstage or like somewhat, you know what I mean? Like, because you always hear about it and there's never any witnesses or you rarely ever know what actually went down, but this was pretty clear. So at least I like the airing of the grievances in front of all. But I mean, it sounds like it's kind of been a shit show this tour. I mean, they're always a shit show. It's like, that's just, you know, why the bassists left before and why they always break up and get back together and all this shit. Right. So, you know, like they're very dysfunctional. That's part of what makes them great. But I think, I mean, there had been issues anyway. And then the thing with the sound and the guitar and whatever. And I mean, I think also Perry's obvious substance abuse had a lot to do with it. Let's not overlook that, which is tragic and awful. But I mean, yeah, as far as fights go, though, good for them for putting it on stage.
It was meh. Mike's grooving. Mike. Yes, Axl, St. Louis, 1991. He jumped into the crowd because someone was filming the concert. But see, I don't.
Dude, he wrote that. Remember that whole song he wrote wanting to fight Bob Guccione Jr. He's like, "Get in the ring, motherfucker!" And like it was in one of their songs. Speaking of Axl, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 just had its 30th, 40th anniversary.
It would have been a great single. It would have been a great single album, i.e., 45 minutes total.
Yeah, I love both those albums. I'm sorry. I still listen to them today. I love them.
And it wasn't worth the wait. How long did we wait for that? Years.
Totally worth the wait. And then the release and everything, the hype for it. That was back in like pre-internet days too, where that hype was real. Like that was like homegrown. Let's go to the record store and get in line and buy the CD. God, that was fun. Those were good days.
Rolling Stone hype. They made the cover of Rolling Stone. That's what I think. Some other notable ones. The Black Crowes. Chris and Rich got in a fight in Denver in 92 one year. The Replacements got in a fight somewhere once. Two of the guys in the Replacements. Faith No More. The vocalist Mike Patton got in a fight with Billy Gold, the bassist, in the middle of the show. And then they finished the show like real performers do, because Jane's Addiction did not come back out and finish the show
or play the next show. I was kind of disappointed in that. Like,
they're done. They were like, we're done.
Sorry. You know, like come back out and like, finishing the show is tight. That's like getting a fight in a game and like, you know, finishing the game, or like, you know, like in hockey, like it happens and like you fucking move on and go.
What did you think of the competing? The statement from Perry's wife, which was about the sound on the stage, and then Dave Navarro being like, "Hey, he's a junky loser. I'm done with this."
He is like, I mean, he has his issues. Him and Dave have their issues. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know. It's a band, right? So it's hard to judge them. They're like a band. So it's like, whatever. But I think his wife is obviously trying to defend him and say what his issue was with her, what drove him to do that. And
dude, check this out. I read this thing that originally when the first album, they got signed to the deal, Perry said he wanted 50% of everything. Right, because he wrote the lyrics, and then he wanted 1/4 of the other 50% for helping write the song.
Nice.
everybody gets 12%, but me, I get 60. What?
60,
I can't do that.
I knew that I mean, it was the same because everything was hit, like creative wise was his, you know. I know and that was always one of their fucking problems. So yeah, I mean, and one of my fantastic LA Hollywood stories when I was working long ago in the late 90s as a valet. One of the private parties we valeted was this guy lived right off of Sunset, kind of over by UCLA, and he had this huge house. Lower level was like this tennis court off to the side in the yard. He had a benefit concert on the tennis court one night, and it was basically like Jane's Addiction playing on this dude's tennis court. And so like I was one of the better like friends with the guy that owned the company, the valet, and like one of the better valets. So I got to like park cars that came into the guy's house. Actually, I met Val Kilmer that night. I got to meet Perry Farrell because I was there when he pulled up, and they had like 3 bottles of Cristal in the trunk that I had to take out and take down to the thing. What was awesome was once it started, I got to sneak away and go down and like watch the entire show. It got broken up about halfway through, like what you would. It was so fucking loud. Like this guy just had a fucking regular concert on
like
his tennis court in a neighborhood.
Songs in.
Right, it was so loud. There was no way it was gonna and it started at like 9 o'clock at night, right? So you're like, great, like fucking. But it was awesome. It was like insane, and he was cool to me at that point. Like I thought he was pretty cool, and I was like super starstruck. I'm like, holy shit, Perry Farrell, that's amazing. But yeah, and Dave Navarro, and like, yeah,
he obviously, you know, the sad thing is there's 2 things. I hope that Perry gets the help he needs, but I don't think he will, right? Because he's 65 and this is what he's always done.
He is. Yeah.
Right. It's who he is. And I don't see someone changing at 65. My other concern is the poor Lovin' Rockets who were on the double bill with them. They lost out on all those other shows.
That's the pain in the ass. We were just talking about this backstage about like the Zach who from Taper's Choice who's touring with Willow Smith, and they were on the Childish Gambino tour, and he just called it quits for a bit, and they're like, all right, well, we're done. Like, I guess he says, well, I guess we're all done. So yeah, kind of, you're like, you can't continue. Damn it.
Right now, Lovin' Rockets, when I was in high school, senior year, they released their first album, No New Tale to Tell. And that title track was a rocker. And it was 3 of the guys from Bauhaus, however you pronounce it.
Bauhaus. Yeah.
Now it isn't really my cup of tea now, because I watched one of their sets. Somebody had phoned it or whatever. And it really isn't my cup of tea anymore because I'm not a depressed 17-year-old.
It's a funny opening act for them too. I feel like
Weird Bill,
an odd,
I think the thinking is you get the Jane's Addiction crowd, and there's some overlap with the Lovin' Rockets crowd, but hopefully you're selling twice as many tickets. Some of those shows that were upcoming on the tour, I was on Ticketmaster looking to see if things were getting canceled, like maybe a fifth sold. Really? So that might have led into it too. It might have been a staged thing, hey, let's act like we're going to have a little fight. Or maybe they did, and they just took it as a sign to just get out and bail instead of not selling all these tickets and losing money.
Because so much of that's going around these days with that shit, and like people not like maybe play smaller venues, don't play such a big venue. I do remember when Jane's covered Ripple. I heard that not actually that long ago again. And that whole
dedicated album.
I was just gonna say that whole album, yeah.
Who did the Burning Spear did Estimated on it.
Yeah.
The Burning Spear. Love that guy. It's so fun. All right, let's try another one. Dead Ahead. They're redoing the thing they did last year in Mexico, right? But this time no Mickey Hart, like Bob Weir's Last Man Standing. I wish we had a picture that we could pull up the people there. He's won
the Fighting Hellfish, like the last one alive gets the money in the safe. Right. Bobby's slowly taking them all out, and the last one like remaining on tour, he's like, I've outlasted you all.
Right, we've got Rick from Goose, right?
Yep.
I think is the one there.
Incoming.
Hey, we're going to have a little minute here where we fix things up if Tim comes in. But yeah, I'm going to try to pull this up so I can look at it, because I tweeted about it.
Sturgill Simpson, I believe, was on that list.
Sturgill was on there, yeah. Bum bum bum. There it is. All right. So sorry for the delay. Sturgill's one there, Rick from Goose, and you got Jeff O'Teal and Jay Lane and Don Was. So we got some Wolf Brothers and we have some the Dead and Company guys, except for Mickey. I guess that's everybody but Mickey and John Mayer, and then Brandy Carlisle, which I found fascinating.
No Mickey, no Billy, no Phil, no John.
Nope. So let me ask you, did I throw out my, yeah, we did on 2 Wook Clubs ago, about, have you thought any more about whether they will try to do a 60-something, or does this dead ahead thing look like Bobby's just going to be out there, road warrior, keeping the flame alive, and Phil will do his various few shows he does, and Mickey might get an ensemble together and do some drum touring?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it feels like if they really do feel done with the 50 was like it, then there's probably no need for it. But I don't know. I mean, why wouldn't you get together and fucking hang out for like, even if it's like a couple shows in San Francisco for the fuck of it? Like, why wouldn't you just do it together for a last, like, fuck yeah.
You're not going to make it to
70.
65, right? You're not making it to 65 either, probably. Right. And I know people are like, "Shut up, don't say stuff like that." But we all come with an expiration date.
I mean, yeah.
And none of them. I mean, Bobby probably is in better health than me, or
oh yeah, exactly.
But the rest of them, I think, have lived a pretty,
And it's fine to like just call it, like, retire and from like playing and what, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah,
but good for Rick, and good for Sturgill, and good for whoever else. I hope they bring Brandy Carlisle out, maybe do one of the sweet ballads, let her sing something, because she has such a great voice for something like that. Let the torch passing, because didn't Bobby say something like he envisions one day that the Dead's music is still being played with,
right. Yeah, totally.
And he's looking down with Jerry overhead. He's having these delusions of grandeur still.
I mean, yeah, why not go down to Mexico and play some music? Like, it's very much Bobby's vibe. I don't see why he wouldn't want to do it. And yeah, whatever. I mean, go for it. Go do it. Keep playing. And hopefully next year, hopefully they all do a 60, because it would be nice to see and hear and do. But
the only other thing I've heard Bobby doing is he's going to be at one of the maybe it's Halloween, and they're having a Bob Weir incident with String Cheese, but there's no Wolf Brothers tour. Even if it was just the 4 of them, there's no Wolf Plus. What did they call that? Wolf Plus.
Wolf Plus.
Wolf Pack.
Yeah.
Wolf, we should have made Wolf Plus shirts. We missed out.
Should.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe Bobby's taking it easy a little. They all cashed a very nice check after the work they did this year at the Sphere. I mean, do you need to do anything else for cashing that check?
I don't know. I feel like, though, if you stop playing, it's like one of those things. If you stop doing it, you get old, right? So, like, if you stop doing it
right away, guitar players always are walking around with their guitars. They're
right, like a Trey, like, yeah, it's attached to them, like, at all times. That guy constantly has a guitar around. Like, most people walk on stage and grab their guitar. He comes on with it like already on and like has been wearing it. I'm surprised he takes it off when he walks off stage, because I feel like he probably takes that one off and puts another one on backstage, like before he gets on the bus.
In interviews, he has it.
I know.
It's sitting there in his lap.
Well, I always remember that, what, like me and my mind movie or whatever it was, at the end, after he plays in that bar, he goes and gets on the bus with his guitar and just sits in the back, and it's just like noodling, like just playing as they're like going, and he's just like, he doesn't stop. Like, yeah. Right. So
would you like to see new Bob Weir music?
Would I like to see it?
Hear it? Would you like to see him write an album of new music? Because like he did Evening Moods, that was all original, and then he did the Cowboy album, whatever that was, which was like 6-7 years ago now. Does he have an album in him without Barlow around?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. Does he need to do it? Probably. I mean, I don't know. Does he have the creative juice in him to do it?
Right.
Oh boy. Here we go. Hold on,
I would
everybody.
love to see.
Oh, hey,
there we go. I
there
would
he
love to
is.
see him do another album like he did with the Heaven Help the Fool, like straight on trying to be a pop star, embrace today's music.
Today, oh, dude, no, I think you get like an old folky album if you get anything. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
you're
Gonna
getting
get the
slow
cowboy album
Dylan-esque. Yeah, like a Dylan type, like a very slow. You're not getting. Yeah, you're definitely not getting that, buddy. Relax.
What you guys talking about?
We went backwards. We've gone backwards. We did Jane's Addiction already, and now we're talking about Dead Ahead and Bobby.
We opened with Jane's because it was going on in the chat, so we just kind of like it was like a Trey move. We saw it and just kind of jumped. We were like, "Oh, the mood of the crowd has influenced us to do this instead."
Yeah, you know what? I think we should have just not done a set list tonight. It would have been
no. It helps though because now I know what we're gonna talk about. Because before I'm like, "Where are we going, Kev?" I don't know.
Why don't we go backwards with it since we're on
floating.
Dead Ahead, and next we can go and do the Trey Bruce.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go. So what do you make, Tim? What do you make of Bob Weir's reappearance as Dead Ahead and it just being him?
I'm not surprised, and I guess in grand scheme, I don't care that much. Like, I don't want to overinflate my opinion. It's fine, do whatever the fuck you want. But like, if gun to head have to give an opinion, I don't know. I don't think in like an ideal, like if you go back and read the history books kind of way, right? Like in that sense of like going back, like I don't think all of it's playing out super clean and nicely, right? Like it was kind of storybook with like Fairly Well, and then it was like kind of storybook again with Dead and Co. And then it just keeps like which honestly that's kind of the Dead story though. It's like the music lives on, so like fuck it. And that's like story. I hope it never ends, right?
Right.
I don't know. I guess I don't have a strong opinion.
Are we getting a 60th anniversary, Tim?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't be surprised, but dude, that's so much work and so much effort, and like fucking Phil's like he's old.
Yeah. That's why I think it would have to be something like local in San Francisco or something easy and not even like, I don't know. It's not a tour.
They should play a show in a bar. They should play a show in a bar and not invite anybody and just stream it.
It's too bad he doesn't still have fucking Terrapin Crossroads because that'd be a perfect place to do like a 10-show run. Right? And just like, yeah.
You're only allowed to
being on this side because I look this way. Now it looks like I'm looking at you guys. See? When I'm over here, it's like I'm looking at the set list.
Well, when you're over there, it almost feels like we're like in a mirror or something. It's like we're watching it flip.
You know, if they did a 60th anniversary thing, it would be at the Sphere.
This is a very good point, and I need to give Benji a call and get some of that information. I haven't talked to Benji. He owes me some footage, so I'll hit him up and see what he thinks about the matter. Although I could see, no, that'd be fucked up. But I don't know if Billy and
say it.
Bobby are on good terms anymore.
Bobby and Hill. Bobby loves everybody.
And Bill.
Bobby and Bill love each other. You know what? If they gave them a number that was maybe 8 figures, they'd be like, yeah, I'll be there. What time? What time you need me? Right? I'm not wrong. I am not wrong on this. And it's nothing against them. If someone offered me $10 million to do something with someone I really didn't like, I'd be like, I'll be there 20 minutes early.
Fairly Well was kind of perfect, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if you like, that's why I don't think it could be a production, like a big thing. It has to be something like small and like, yeah, we're doing this, but it's not like, plus I don't think they can do big. Like, I just don't think they have to have more of a supporting cast around them if they do big to like fill that sound.
I don't know if the economy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that too, Tim. Like, yeah, like we were just talking about how Janes weren't selling their tickets. Like, I don't know how those. I'm sure there'd be an audience. I still think small though. I still think small and local, if anything.
They would have keyboard. You
Yeah.
get a warranty at Clemente again, right? Because that was a neat thing to have the two keyboardists. And you get Mayer to sit in instead of Trey.
Trey would be pissed. I don't think he would say anything, but I think he'd be pissed.
Really?
Yeah, if you did like a big thing, like if you did like a Santa Clara, Chicago thing again for like the 60th, I don't know. I think that's like the 50th.
What if they
talk about
guitar
very
player
well as one of like the most, like one of the proudest moments of his career. He puts that up there with Hands on a Hard Body.
The reason I say that they're not going to have Trey is because I think, for one, Trey has moved on from that. He did it. It's on his shelf. It's on his trophy shelf. And two, Weir and Mayer have such an intimate connection, especially if you're throwing Clemente and Mickey. I mean, it's like Dead and Company kind of being.
Well, you can't have Mayer. You can't have Mayer without Jeff there. I mean, and with Bob, like that's off. Like that has to be. Those three are. And then I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you pull it. I don't know.
Put Phil in instead of OTL. Is that what you were going to say? Is he going to be like a wild card throwing him in there?
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know like how much. It's not that it's going to change or whatever, but it's like a totally different.
Phil will want to sing Terrapin, and there'll be a big fight backstage.
Mike, did you not see Trey throwing shade at Dead and Co. about being a tribute act and throwing shade at John? I'm not saying he would publicly be pissed, and there's no way for us to prove this, but I feel very strongly that Trey would be put off by it and would
we could pass him a note
among close friends and be like, "Oh, fuck those guys."
Well, I think that it turned into like what it did, but I think I mean whatever. It was a monumental thing that he did, of course, with that, right? Like, and it felt like the end of that, and so I think to see it kind of continue on, all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? Kind of like we all were, but it worked obviously for 10 years, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I would not fault them.
A couple months later.
That's crazy.
And I don't think Dead and Company's done. I think they will appear at the Sphere
for
again.
Sure. They're not done.
We're going to get the Eagles through next year.
Do you think Mickey comes back then, Kev, if they do Dead and Co again?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And they have Jay Lane. And they have the anchor. Jay Lane.
He's just not into Mexico.
I think Mickey's going to show up because he doesn't do that much. Nothing against Mickey. Don't get mad at me, Mickey people.
Dude, he does his art. He does drums in his art and like meditates. And what do you mean he doesn't do anything?
The beam. He's there to do the beam. You have to have him doing the beam.
Licking beams, microdosing every day, doing his artwork, drumming his own circle.
Even if he doesn't play a note, you still got Mickey out there.
Okay,
Doesn't drum a lick. He didn't drum a lick the whole night. with his feather, he had like the cat and nine tails that he was using to play the drums with.
Right. Yes.
Oh, Tim's like, what do you guys talk about? We're reliving the after shows.
I'm having hesitancy because I'm not very confident in my internet, so I don't want to like dive in with a bold stance and then just watch you guys stutter, which really means I'm the one flickering, and then it's
Here's a good one, Cav. Do you think Dead and Company will do an LA Forum show for New Year's or run?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah, because I don't think they're touring. I don't think they'll play anywhere outside of the Sphere anymore, like touring wise. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you did, well, I don't know, because
you know how you're going to find that one out is you're going to keep checking Mayer's website, because he will announce. He's always updating his tour dates. He obviously has a team working for him, so he always has the latest information. I think that yes, it's going to be. I think there's going to be probably a Wolf Brothers thing. Last year they did it down in Florida for 2 nights, and they did a 3-set show on New Year's Eve. So
yeah,
I think we should start getting a lot of New Year's announcements. I bet on Tuesday coming up we're going to get Madison for Phish.
Then you think that early?
It's usually the last week in September.
Yeah, somebody sent all those dates, and it's actually like usually right. I didn't realize it was like right around, sometimes even earlier than now. But yeah,
they've already got tickets on sale Friday for Albany, so everyone spent their money, and then they announced the next one.
Everyone's already spent their money.
Yeah. No, there's usually a week though. I feel like between the on sale and the next one.
After the 31st,
yeah,
it'll be the last.
Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that.
It'll be October 1st. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair,
I mean, that's not knowing anything. That's just my speculation, right? But
right. Well, I mean, we've been watching it how many years now? 15, 16 years. It's always right around that time.
For a band that subverts expectations so well, they also don't subvert expectations like at all with some things. Like they kind of are predictable in a lot of ways. Are you either? I guess you're not coming back out east. Are you trying to go to Albany, Kev?
No, I am not.
Yeah,
I'm not. What I am trying to do is I might have an in for God Street Wine in Atlantic City on whenever that is, the 28th of this month, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. So I may try to go to Atlantic City.
They're getting real active again. I've been seeing them posting a lot more. It's cool.
Real active.
They need to my man needs to move back from Berlin over here. I was talking to
him so bad. He's so cool.
I was talking to 2 of the guys from the Ominous Sea Pods, Max and Dana, who were the 2 main guys, the songwriters.
Everybody knows that.
And Dana lives in Perth, Australia. So we had to do like 10 at night. We had to do it at a weird time because it's 12 hours difference. But anyway, while we were talking, they were saying that they would love to play together. But when he comes over, he has to have a few days to acclimate after flying all that way. Then a few days to rehearse, then to do the show, that kind of thing. And I never thought of the part about flying from somewhere else like that and needing a few days to get yourself together in your new place.
I guess
he could
when you get older too.
He could pre-acclimate himself before he left and start switching his time up, so that way when he got here, he'd be in better shape for it.
Right.
Because that's
our shows super late anyway. I feel like even if you're on schedule.
I think your whole rhythm, everything's off.
12 hours is a lot.
Yeah, 12 hours is a lot.
That's like a half a day. So all your days completely flipped. You're like, oh, what do you mean it's not noon? It's midnight.
One more thing about it. The coolest thing was at the end of it, the guy Dana was talking about new songs he was writing, and they decided to make a new Ominous Sea Pods album while I was talking to him. God,
nice.
God bless him. So we were talking about Dead Ahead and playing with your idol for Rick and Sturgill and all those guys. How about Trey playing with Bruce for playing with an idol, huh?
There you go. I was waiting for that Kev transition. What'd you think, Kev? You would check that out.
The song choice, impeccable. They did Kitty's Back, which is off the Greetings from Ashbury Park album. And Trey has said that Bruce was his first concert when he was 14. His sister took him to see Bruce. So I know he has a really deep love for his Jersey homeboy, Bruce, and just the joy in his eyes, the sheer joy in Trey's eyes. And his band was perfect with the horns. I mean, the horns didn't play with them the last couple times Trey was out, right? It was the whatever they call it, the original, or I don't forget what they call it.
Yeah, well, Tab Trio or Classic
Tab Trio. Tab. Yeah, the horns came out. I forget the name of the new guy. I sent it to the Telegram. I forget who it was. They got a new sax player, but the horns didn't miss a beat. And they opened up with Mozambique. They did came in, they did Push On Through the Day, so they did 3 Trey band tuned to open, and I was like, these guys are pretty special tonight.
I think Bruce probably works better with Tab than he did with Phish. I mean, I enjoyed.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
That was my first or second show that he played with them, but I enjoyed it. But it was like not. It was the sum of the parts were less than the individuals or whatever. You know what I mean? Like seeing Phish is amazing, seeing Bruce is amazing, seeing Phish and Bruce was kind of like, you know. But I feel like with the horns, it's a lot better. Works out better.
Well, he knows how to play with the horns. I mean, he's got a whole, you know, like, and he's used to playing with like that kind of a band, you know what I mean? Like that.
And Bruce lends himself. Obviously, Bruce lends himself to something with a saxophone.
Right.
So.
The horns, like, oh, you got to do a little E Street band. I mean, like, he's got it all. So it like makes sense. I feel like that's much more of like, you know.
The song they chose was perfect, though, because it has Trey plays his lick and then Bruce plays it back. And they do that back and forth blues kind of thing. And like I said, just seeing the joy on Trey's face. It's like he was a little kid again, like he was one of us. You know?
I think it should be the A Street Band there, not the T Street Band. The A Street Band.
Right. Bruce Springsteen's almost eight.
That's sweet though. We always talk about the collabs and stuff, and like I don't know, that's so cool. I mean, you know, I think it's awesome when that happens, and that's a huge one. Like, how much fun! Like, what a fucking sweet show.
Definitely. Yes, the Born to Run in Jersey team, Jeff, is if you go back and you find the Tom Marshall episode of The Lot, he tells the story of that performance and how he had pissed off the security people the night before by crawling in the rafters of that joint so he could see the show from the rafters.
That was a great story.
Incredible story.
That was a great story.
We should find that and cut it up into shorts or something.
We
like
should.
Get it out there again.
Because it should get. Yeah, I mean, all of our
members only. Could release it for members only.
Well, I mean, if non-members really wanted to see it, they could just go back and find the lot. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Make the non-members search for it, but members will hand deliver it.
We'll have it.
Here you go.
Easy access. Classic interview, and we were all a mess because that was when we did The Lot, and we would all start drinking like a couple hours before the show.
I'm very impressed you remember that, Kev.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with how fucked up he always was.
I know.
He has perfect recall, but he couldn't remember it the night off. But he could remember
there was only one show. Later. There was only one show where I felt like I drank too much. And that was when we talked to O'Teal. I think I was completely in the bag talking to O'Teal.
Well,
I don't have many regrets in life, but some of the Tom and O'Teal setup and the way we handled that, I have a little bit of regret. Like,
no way.
Dad convinced me. He called me and talked to me for an hour. He's like, I have the best surprise for O'Teal. I'm going to bring, and I forget who the guy was. He was like this bass player. He's like, O'Teal knows him. He's going to love him. He's going to be so excited. We're going to take up 20 minutes of like your 30-minute interview with this fucking bit. And I was like, all right, man, what? Because I couldn't say no to any of you guys. I was like, whatever. Like, and then he fucking bring the guy, and O'Teal's like, do I know you? It was like complete flop. I mean, the guy was cool, and like we ended up having a good night, but like I was like,
yeah,
we could have just dug into shit, and I don't know. It's fine.
Wasn't it Sturgill Simpson's bass player?
Is that who it was?
Yeah,
I think it was Sturgill Simpson's bass player.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's not my fault. O'Teal had no idea who the fuck it was, and it went over poorly.
God, we were all a mess.
Chuck Bartel.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was just awkward because like Chad set it up like, "Oh, your buddy," and like Chuck was like, "Hey, O'Teal," and O'Teal was like,
Remember that one time? It was fun. It was so fun. So yes,
those were really fun fucking shows though. I loved doing that.
The early shit was just, I mean, especially the stuff during COVID, because it was just like it didn't matter. Like everyone was around, right? Like it was just so it didn't
Nobody
matter.
had
Like,
anything to do.
right. It was just like a party. Like it was the lot. Like it was like being on lot. Like we just get shit faced talking to random people that. But I can't
So
believe
many
come on.
people. So many people.
Yeah, like 3 or
Somewhere
4 a
there's a list.
night, 3 or 4 an episode, man. Like we just go through guests and we'd have like the boxes like full on the screen of just like people.
That's why I don't book anymore. I burn out. I used to use a spreadsheet to like book that out. I would have to we'd book like 4 or 5 guests every single week.
Dude, we used to do intros for every guest.
Right, with voiceovers.
We have
introduced them all.
That was not sustainable, especially with the switch being flipped, the flip being switched every night.
I remember the one show, I don't remember who was on that night, but I had to go get dental work done and I came back all fucked up and then just stayed on the Vicodins all night. It was just a fucking mess.
Was that when you showed up naked in the Rudolph antlers?
No, that was the Christmas party. That was one of the best episodes. Go back and watch that one. I slowly.
That's funny.
That was the drunk office employee that got naked at the office. That was fun.
Oh, so I don't know the exact day or any of the exact details, but I'm gonna pull a Kevin and just start announcing shit before it's fully planned out.
Perfect. Hey, by the way, how's the fishtails thing going?
No. You're not supposed to bring people's attention to that, T. We're just gonna let people forget about it slowly. Well, we're gonna distract them with this other thing. We're going to bring back Wooksgiving this year. We got to figure out the exact timing, the exact day, and what it looks like. But I think we were all, or at least I was, very set on trying to do a Wooksgiving this year because I like it, and
should I prepare a musical number or something?
No, that's for the office party. The Christmas office party.
That's Christmas.
We're gonna get you to do karaoke.
Last year I did Christmas in Las Vegas.
Right, and
we got popped.
That was something.
No, that was something that we don't ever want to do again.
Did Bruce play? Did they play? Was that at the Pony?
No, it was in the beach. It's See Here Now here.
See Here Now festival or something.
Oh, I like the Pony summer stage. I've seen Mo there a bunch of times.
He played at the Pony though, like the night before or 2 nights before the Trey thing. He played there and showed up and did like.
That's why I was confused because I heard somebody talking about the Pony, but I guess
he showed up and played with whatever band was playing. It
was playing there. Yeah, right.
He was sitting in.
And then the next night was the Trey thing, and then the next night was his set, right? Which like had all the people on the beach or whatever. That was insane. Yeah.
How much you want to bet they did?
No, we're gonna have a wook off, like a cook.
A wook off. I don't know if we can call it wook off anymore, dude. I don't know if we can call it wook off anymore.
Why?
It's kind of close to freak off.
No, wook out. The wook out. The cookout.
The wook out. Okay.
Wook out.
We're not gonna wook off.
It's not a wook off. It's a wook out. A pig roast. A wook out pig roast. Yeah, exactly. The Haktua. The wook out. I like the wook out.
Wook out. Yeah.
Wook out.
That'll be next
have
summer.
All your favorites playing.
Oh, is that what we're gonna do?
Cool we're gonna have to get some cool bands to come play. I got ideas.
Well, my dream was to have just musicians from a bunch of different bands and have a never-ending jam where people just like sit in, and like pick it up and keep it going.
Right.
Nice.
Yes, I saw JD Souther passed. The Eagles. He was a songwriter and he was in the Eagles. He was part of Linda Ronstadt's band when she inadvertently created the greatest menace to 70s rock.
I still think we didn't need a set list for tonight. I think this felt like a non-set list type of night.
Well, if you want to ditch the set list, we can ditch it.
No, but we don't have the other frame set up on this one.
Yeah, we do.
Frame.
Yeah, don't we?
No.
Unless
we go to this, and then we go to that. Yeah, and then we go to there.
Yeah. There you go.
And then we go to there. Boom.
Oh boy. Holy moly. There we go.
And there we are.
There it is. Look at this. Professional.
There it is.
The transitions are a little rough, but
We get there.
Mostly professional.
Right. So where we go, your backyard is not big enough to do this.
Yeah.
No, well, it is. It's just all hills. If it were all flat, it'd be fine, but it's all super steep.
Can we use your cul-de-sac?
Cul-de-sac.
My neighbors would love that. I just invited, a couple dozen wooks to hang out. Tents popped up in everyone's front yards.
Perfect.
Bands playing all night. The disco at 3 a.m. We're done. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, I mean, we could do like a silent disco and do a silent
There you
show, do
go.
the whole thing silent. Headphones.
That's weird.
That'd be cool.
That's one way to stop the chompers.
Humphreys used to give out headphones with patched into the board, so you could go and listen to like lossless, high quality,
right,
like mix. And I love it. I think it's actually kind of a great idea.
Right.
I was thinking about that. Not Magnaball, fucking Mondegreen. It wasn't terrible with chompers, but there was a lot going on. And like after listening to so many shows on headphones, because the whole summer tour we listened to, right? I was like, I kind of don't want all the other shit going on around me. Like I want, you know what I mean? Like it was a little distracting. I was like, I just want to listen to the music, but
how
I don't know.
can
And then at the same time, like everything that adds to it, but
how can you deny someone the chance to participate in the moment by an utterance? This is fantastic.
I have zero problem with the people participating with the band and fully engaged. And it's not even a problem. Like I don't give a fuck whatever anybody does. But like I guess what was like we could do without was when people are engaged with themselves or with things outside the music and it's distracting. Right? Like, and the two examples that like I'm not even like blaming him, I get it, but like one is people kept looking around because like there was so much shit to look at. But like me being slightly fucked up and like in my head would be like, oh, what are they looking at? Right. And then I'd look, and I'd be like, oh, it's nothing. And then like I'd forget that. And then I'd see them looking back at me. And then I would look again, and you keep like, it was weird with people,
You were having a moment. You were having a moment.
Yeah, I would say because we're so far back anyway. Like, I don't know. I didn't really notice people looking.
I didn't. I was the one coming up talking to the two.
The second thing I was going to complain about was like this guy right behind me that kept shouting "best show ever" and fucking love this band, and he had this really distinct accent.
There was that guy,
like a Baltimore tone.
That's funny when someone was like, "Yeah, I didn't see you. I heard you."
Yeah. He's like,
all right, so let's
like a foghorn for like wook ships.
Did you guys see this picture? Did you see this guy's picture in Salt Lake last night? He put a tarp on the ground and then took gaffer tape and taped it to the floor.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Fucking
God bless that man.
That's a cool move, right? Like we're all in agreement. That's a cool move.
So somebody suggested when he wasn't looking to have a Sharpie and to put your last name on it on the bottom and then tape it back down and call security and be like, dude, this guy's on my tarp. And
my tarp.
I think it's hard for me to get really riled up about the rail shit because that's not my space and I've never had a huge desire to like be down there. And so like I hear stories about it, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of like, what you're going to get, like, what to expect. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to be bothered. And like, I hear the sound sucks anyway, right? And your neck sucks, you can't leave.
Yeah. I agree with this. I agree with this.
Yeah.
No,
because people are there to see a band
I'm not complaining about anybody. I'm just saying that
no one said you were complaining. We're having a discussion. Don't get defensive.
I'm getting a little defensive because I don't mean it to be like, oh, all these people were fucking talking around me. It's just I have like
sometimes
a very.
I find that sometimes I notice it and sometimes I don't. Like sometimes someone's voice will be on just the right frequency that I'll hear it. Other times it's just all background noise. Anyway, and if it's like that, I do this. And
yeah, that helps. I've done that. That
thing.
actually helps a lot.
And sometimes it's a subtle way to tell someone they're talking.
Yeah, it depends on how loud and when their vicinity to you. I always find like right near you talking is the worst. Like right behind you, or like especially if it's in seats or something, it's brutal.
Well,
right?
when I would tape, I likened it to we were like the toilet and we attracted every asshole because people would inevitably see you taping and walk up and be like, "Can I get a copy?" And you're like, "Yeah, dick. Now you're on."
Now you're on it.
Anyway, that's where I was with that.
I don't know. I'd always like to be right next to the tapers and just keep yelling, "Play Freebird! Play Freebird!"
That was you.
I have a tape. I have a tape. It was a local band, so it wasn't anything bad. But the whole night, my two buddies walked up and like talked into the mic, Kevin Dick, and stuff like that. Just ruined the whole tape for like every song they did it. And I was like, guys, really?
Just sit kind of near the mic and just keep like mooing or something. Just to like moo. You hear that fucking mooing on that tape? It's insane. Like, what is going on?
I hate when that happens.
I'm gonna try something new this week.
What's
I realized that I've never to this day listened to Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish or any of these like pop stars that everybody's talking about. And like, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna love them or that I'm gonna really enjoy it at all, but I feel like I can't have an opinion, or I don't know. It's just weird to me that I've gone this long and haven't heard something that I feel like it seems like everyone else on earth has listened to. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna dive in and just listen to a bunch of pop music.
I can give you a bunch of CDs to listen to. Suggestions if you want to save yourself from that and listen to something you might actually like.
No, I can take the half an hour to listen to. I mean, how long is a pop song? 2 minutes?
Taylor Swift has like 30 albums. You could probably.
I'm not listening to the fucking discography, Kev. I'm just gonna pick a couple of random songs. I'm just saying, like, I want to round out and like not be
anybody have any?
If
anybody has, all right, yeah, Olivia fan, give us suggestions for Taylor Swift songs for Tim to listen to, and next week we're going to get an update and a report on them.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
And Billie Eilish, how is she? Who is she?
She's like fucking. I don't know. That's my point.
Reputation, we got Keg.
She's like 22 years old and has like 1 billion sales or something. So
nice. Good for her. Good for her. I mean, you know, when I discover a new band, nobody's ever heard of them and no one will, I feel like, for the most part. And then I miss all this other stuff because the last pop stuff I listened to is probably Miley Cyrus because my kids were into Hannah Montana.
Recent Miley Cyrus or like early?
His kids are going to hear his oldest is going to hear Taylor Swift and be like, "I like that, Daddy," and we're done.
Oh, he's going to get it sooner or later. He's going to get it all in like 5. He's going to be miserable. Like he's going to be like, "Remember when I didn't know any of the pop music? I know it all now, and it drives me crazy." It's all I listen to in the car with 2 daughters.
Yeah. No, I mean, based on my history and track record with poppy songs that like rock bands and jam bands do, and like the simple progressions and shit, I don't have high hopes that I'm gonna be like loving this music, but I'm gonna try to go into it with an open mind. You know,
might be catchy.
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. I want to try to get rid of the whole like pretend, and like I'm not pretentious on purpose, but like being a Phish fan, there's a natural, like, it seeps into your blood of like being a little bit of a tool. Like when you talk to Phish fans and you are a Phish fan and all you do is in the myopic like Phish world, I feel like like we Kev, like, you know, we do this shit, we hyperanalyze everything. I want to just be able to like fucking turn my brain off and just listen to something and not analyze it, not compare it to a version in 97. Like just
But
hear
that's
something
you,
new
because
and
you
not
always say
think
like
about it.
you don't listen to a lot of things other than Phish, like
Right. And
is
I'm
what you've always
admitting that's a
said.
problem. I'm not proud of that.
Right.
It's true, but I'm not
I
proud
only
of
listen
it.
to Phish when I have homework or when they're playing live. So see, I
Besides
always
Phish,
have
I only
something new.
listen to 60s and 70s. Like I listen to Floyd and Zeppelin and
Mhm.
like I have various artists I listen to from classic rock, but anything I don't listen to anything earlier than or more recent than like the 70s or 80s, except
Mhm.
for Phish.
And there's a lot of good music that's come out since then.
I know, and instead of listening to that, I'm going to listen to Taylor Swift. I can't even see. That's the thing, though. I can't even joke about it. That's my point. Is like I can't even poke fun because I have no idea what the fucking sounds like. I have to at least listen to it before I can say, "Oh, I don't like it,"
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I'll love it.
You've heard it. You've been in a Starbucks and you've heard "Shake It Loose" or whatever it is. Shake it off.
It's kind of like Goose. Just not 100% sold on Taylor Swift yet, Tim. You will be.
Man, my Goose train crashed so hard. I got so high on them when the new drummer came in, and then as soon as that little mini run was over, I like lost all interest.
Well, that was fun.
It was fun while it
but
lasted.
if you do this over the next 24 hours or so on Friday, you can cleanse your palate with Trey Anastasio's Music for Lobbies.
Elevator.
We should have done an infomercial or like a bit. Right, like mom rock, but like lobby rock.
Lobby rock.
It reminds me of Eno back in the 70s had music for airports, and he had all these albums like that, and they were ambient music, which is basically what Trey calls it ATRIUM, though. ATRIUM sounds pretentious. Music for Lobbies would sound like a little nod.
Music for Lobbies is fantastic. We have to do that now. See, now that makes sense. That works over mom rock. If you had come with
that's a fully thought out bit.
In 10 seconds.
That works.
That's where we brought Wook Plus. Instead of actually doing the bits, now we just talk about the bits. Like, oh yeah, we should do that.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh, it'd be good.
Exactly.
So you know what we need to do, since we did not get any input but 2 people mentioning stuff on Discord, maybe 3. I think we need to get onto Fishnet if we can.
I was always going to just go on Fishnet. I have no idea what you kept talking about, but my intention was always to just go on
it's a wheel. When you click next, it's a wheel spinning in my head. Anyway, also the Trey album comes out Friday. Check it out. Check it out. We heard some of it. I heard some of it. People recorded and walking through.
What was the last show we did? I love. By the way, in his head, like he wasn't going to make this tea. He wasn't going to figure out how to make the wheel. He was just going to imagine it and then hope that I did it for him.
Right.
No, I kept calling it a wheel and I shouldn't have. I should have said website or something else. But in my head, it's a wheel. A wheel.
Yeah. Wait, there's no Neil Young minute? Do you have any Neil Young news?
I do not have a Neil Young minute, but I got a Bob Dylan minute for you. Hold Dylan.
On, tell me what show was the last show we did, though, so I can look it up while you do that.
96, 11/8/96.
Okay.
Last night, Bob Dylan broke out Desolation Row for the first time since 2018 in a completely new arrangement, and he played the wrench for it, banging a wrench on the microphone while he sang. That's your Neil Young minute.
That's your Neil Young minute.
Neil hasn't been up to anything, guys. Neil's hanging out in his ranch, driving around in his EV Cadillac that he had made for him, and
all right.
yeah, all right.
Good vamping.
Yeah, I think we did that last week, Jacob. We talked about the show with Mayer. Yeah, Stephen Stills. We were talking about Long May You Run. If we would be lucky enough to get that. All right, it's T's turn to pick a number.
T.
What?
Pick a number.
3.
3? Wow. I feel like this one's Oh, wait, no, I did next show. Hold on. That didn't count. I was like, wow, we got 396 shows in a row.
Oh, look at that. That's funny.
That's a great show.
This was a good show, too.
Oh.
Ooh, all right. 93.
A 93. And, you know, I was talking to someone about this. And
what?
About the fact that there's so many 1.0 shows, and by just the sheer statistics of it, 65% of all the shows they've ever done were 1.0 shows, if not more, you know?
Yeah. So what does that mean?
That means that statistically you're going to hit a 1.0 show more than you're going to hit a...
Right, which is why we originally made the wheel.
Right.
That was the point of it, was so that way we didn't only do like 93, 94, 96, 93.
Right,
94,
we had a different we had different dates in there for shows.
Right,
so get on Discord.
4.0 or 3.0 or 2.0.
Math.
Hop on Discord.
Science.
Hop on Discord down below, and there's a tab, whatever they call it, channel, room, whatever, about Wook Club. Get in there and say, yeah, this is a show I'd really love to hear your thoughts on, because there are so many Phish shows that we haven't heard, or I've only listened to once for most of the 3.0 stuff.
All right, well, unlike last time where Kev was just talking out his ass without any support from us, this time I will support this idea. And how many do we want to say is the minimum to make a good wheel?
8.
Half a dozen? 8?
8.
If we get at least 8 recommendations, 8 or more recommendations by next week, we'll put
and we have a couple
wheel.
99 recommendations that we can hold over. Make the wheel in your head. It is. Someone suggested.
No, we're not going to do recommendations this time. Just people on the Discord.
Okay. We're not allowed. Good. That's a good call. Good call.
I'm not super excited about this 93 show. I feel like I should.
Well, I was gonna say, couldn't somebody veto? Do we still have veto powers?
We do. I do. But do I want to use my veto?
But I have a veto too, don't I?
You guys have all vetoed. I'm the only one that hasn't vetoed stuff. I don't think you're allowed to veto till I veto something.
We went through all of us once and vetoed.
I don't think so. Check the tape.
Got to be reset.
This is where having a producer would be really helpful.
Because I could see vetoing that just to see what would happen.
If anyone wants a
what would happen.
non-paid producer position and you're free on Wednesday nights between 9 and 10 Eastern, hit us up.
I thought you were going to do that.
Here's an idea. We should just do one until you find a show. But getting the three of us to actually agree on one show, I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably.
Do you want to do a test run? Like we keep this one 331 in the back pocket, but we just keep going until we all agree?
I mean, it does have a harpoon. It's got a pretty decent. The second set's kind of good.
We're just going to go with what we have because we already pulled it. So.
All right. I'm fine with that.
But next week, everybody has a veto. We're going to start fresh next week. Or no, we can't veto next week. But the next time we do Fishnet.
I mean, if you want to go for, because chances are I probably won't even be there again on Tuesday. So if you want to veto it, I'm not even going to probably listen to the show. So I'll give you my veto and allow it.
All right. Well, then spin it again.
This is what we'll do.
Kevin
this
wants
is
to
what
see
we'll
what's
do.
Next.
Hold on. Yeah, we'll see what's next.
And then compare it. And then vote on it.
Right. And then we'll have a three-way vote. So this was what was there. I'll do one more random
Wait, look
show.
at the set list real quick. Hang on. You got a gem to open, foam, melt, mound, punch. Look at that. Sample. I mean, that's
a Simpson signal hood.
Lengthwise, which I love. Maze, bouncing, Uncle Pen, hood, big ball jam.
She's so cold.
Yem, Harpua, she's so cold. Harpua, chalk dust, AC/DC bag, sweet Adeline. See, at least they waited till the end to do the stupid fucking.
Right, but you aren't even going to be there.
Next. See what's next.
I mean, that does sound like a pretty good show.
There's a couple signals in there, all fall down, and the Simpson signals inside that Bowie.
It's probably a good Bowie.
Probably a raging Bowie. Ooh,
Oh.
91.
I used to listen to this tape all the time. I'd take the one before.
Yeah.
Look at you, Kev. Oh, it's got the terrapin.
It's fun and all, but it's bar band Phish again. We've done a lot of bar band Phish.
I feel like I've listened to this show. Did we do this show on Wook Club?
No, but it's a famous tape. I mean, it was one of the ones that got traded a lot back in the olden days.
Yeah.
See, it was another 1.0 show though, back to backs.
Mm.
See, I should have just said one, and then we could have been listening to the Halloween show, which I would have gladly listened to.
You would have actually shown up.
Probably.
Yeah.
No.
And then I guess what? So then that's next week is going to be fan sponsored, and then I guess the week after that is the first week of the month. Are we doing the Dead show that week, T?
Mm-hmm. We sure are.
And is it my pick because you did 2 in a row, or do you want to pick?
Jeez. I don't care.
I was thinking October was a big month in '89. There's probably something from October '89 we should listen to.
We can do that.
And then it's also 35 years. So nice little dovetail.
Find something good that works.
All
right. You guys good?
Yeah, we're good. Thanks everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, comment.
Hey, we never did a housekeeping. I don't know what's going on. Anything
next week we have what club? Do we have anything tomorrow?
I don't want to do this whole figuring shit out live. We'll tweet it. It's fine. None of this shit. Act professional. We'll see you guys next time.
So when are the Phish tales coming back?
Professional. You know who my favorite MC is?
The internet didn't crap up. That was good. He made it.
Once he got it up and running, it looked good.
MC Roach.